right,
All
Coach.
right, man.
It's been almost 30 years you've been coaching, 270 career wins. You know, we talked to you earlier in the season. Like I said, you looked happy, Coach. Like this was, you had something nice going on. And you started the season, preseason, ranked number 2. I think that your team is by, outside expectations have far exceeded past that, Coach. Just kind of tell us how the season's gone for you so far.
Oh, I love football, Truck. I just everything about it. When you start practice in the summer and it's hot, I always try to go on a big fitness kick during the 6 weeks of preseason and wear long sleeves, and then it gets way up in November. It's cold and you play. I mean, I just love everything about it, and we've had a really good year up to this point. Our varsity 7-1. We've won all of our freshman team 6-0, our JV team 7-0. So we've played 21 games. We've won 20 of them, and the only loss was at Boyle, who's, I don't know, they might have the best team in the state now.
Yeah.
They depend real heavily on 4 or 5 super good players playing them both ways. So injuries. I don't want injuries happening to anybody. Injuries could hurt them a little bit, but if they can keep all their people healthy, man, they're good. So it's going great. I love it. My oldest son coaches with us, and I live on a farm. My middle son lives right down the road from me, and my youngest son's pitching baseball at Midway, and I got Coach Monty to run the defense, so I don't have to worry about that. And I got Coach Davis to run the special team, so I don't have to worry about that. And I got Clay in my ear suggesting pass plays all the time on offense, so I don't have to worry about that.
Man, like I said, Coach, you just seem like you're happy right now. You're in a good place. So,
well, I just tell it the way that I think that it is. It wasn't a lot of fun to be in the same district with Douglas the last 4 years. Those Douglas teams, you watched it. You saw Yeager Burke and Crowdis and Key and those guys on TV playing for Kentucky, and then the Neal kid had the big pick for Louisville at the end, and countless others. Listen, guys, coaching is important, but man, it's at the end of the day, it's about players, and they had some really good players. So I don't know if we're going to win Friday or not, but we got a chance.
That's what I was going to ask. Friday's big game, kind of like, you're familiar with these. This is almost like going into the next chapter, those Douglas teams where you had that team. You've got the Woodford team to deal with. Going into this season, like we said, we talked about all the expectations. Has anything surprised you as far as this season goes, as far as what you've gotten so far out of your Cardinals?
Well, we graduated 4 of our 5 starters off the offensive line from last year. Every other position group had a significant number of people back. Our backfield was back intact, and we had some guys back in the secondary and some guys at linebacker, and Christian Rodriguez was the only returning starter we had on the offensive line, and he's our best lineman. He's our left guard, and he's really good. But I'd say our offensive line has gelled a little quicker maybe than I thought. And Coach Jalen Menifee coaches our offensive line, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. He does a good job, and they're physical. So we've gelled a little bit on the offensive line. But one quicker than I thought. One thing about this game, Chuck, you're not out of the mix if you lose.
Yeah.
I don't. I told our kids, I said, we need to go over there and have fun, play hard, lay it all on the line. Maybe throw a little razzle dazzle in there, because if we lose, it's not over. You're going to have to go to Highlands in the second round if you lose this game Friday, and your first round game is going to be quite a bit tougher. And Highlands is good, don't get me wrong, but that's not beyond the realm of possibility that us or Woodford could win at Highlands in round 2. And if you win this game, in all likelihood, you're going to have to play Cooper in round 2. And that's a flip of a coin. Highlands beat Cooper, 156 to 154? It was some kind of crazy game. Had like 1,200 yards of offense. So I think it's the kind of game that you want to play in, you want to coach in. There should be a great crowd, and go have fun and enjoy it because you've earned the right to be in a big game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
You
now,
know, people will lose games. Coaches will, you hear fans, they'll say, well, he can't win the big game. Well, I laugh and I say, well, you know what? If he couldn't win a big game, he'd never had y'all in a big game to start with. What are you complaining about how he can't win a big game? He got you in a big game. So he had to win games to get you there.
Absolutely, Coach. Now, as we look at this big game, Coach, what's it going to take for us to get this win, Coach?
Yeah, you got to think about what you say and probably edit it all back. So we know how you do. You're the only guy I know that's been for the. You've been for the same. There's been a game like Woodford versus Scott, and you've got it all edited out, and you can't figure it out, and you go back and watch it, and heck, you were for the Woodford and Scott all in the same show. You said us about both of them in the same show, but football is not complicated, and we could have played Boyle 10 times, and Boyle would have beaten us 10 times. But we didn't play very good. We turned the ball over 4 times. I mean, you have no chance whatsoever to beat Boyle County, if you turn the ball over 4 times. We'll have no chance to win Friday if we go over there and turn the ball over 4 times. We might as well, after the 3rd turnover, just see if they got to give us a couple boxes full of hamburgers, take them on the road home, and just load up the bus. So we have to take care of the football. And, we cannot have turnover. And then we can't have a bunch of crazy penalties. I mean, I watched a lot of baseball. I played a lot of baseball growing up. My sons played. What beats you in baseball? Walks and errors. What beats you in football? Turnovers and penalties. So if we can not turn the ball over and play pretty well penalty-free game, we think it'll be a good, exciting game. Right. We turn it over 4 times. We better get the 2-for-1 special on the way out the door.
Now, I feel like, your team, very experienced team, have been through a lot. I think the games with Douglas, those games, and even that run you had last season and the game against Boyle have definitely prepared us for this game. Did you do that on purpose, Coach? Kind of knowing that,
Well, I mean, I knew that we had to go. You don't have any control over your district draw.
Yeah.
You just stick it in a little formula and it kicks it out, and it kicks out the home and away. And I knew we had to go to Woodford, so I wanted to make sure and put us in an environment that would prepare us. And I don't know that there's any tougher environment to go play in and on the road at Boyle, because you don't want, when you get into your district and your playoff games, or at least I feel like, I don't want the very best team that we've seen to be the last team that we played. And that's a little coach cliche. You hear that a lot.
Yeah.
But yes, we always, if you go back and look, Truck, over the 27 years that I've been here, virtually sometime in the first 2 or 3, 4 weeks of the season, we try to take our team and put them in a game against the absolute very best team we can find. We played Elder at the Pit. You talk about it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we got beat. But our kids will always remember when we played Elder at the Pit. We played Moeller and LaSalle and, Trinity, St. Xmail, and on. But, hopefully that game help prepare us for this game this coming Friday. And Woodford, one thing I like about what Woodford's doing, I loved here when we were the only show in town.
Yeah.
And I still love it here. I wouldn't be here. But, Woodford's the only show in town. And they really seem like they have their community and their school behind their team. So, and it's close for us. We should take a big crowd. Should be a huge crowd. You coming or?
Yeah, I'm planning on being. I'll be there, Coach. I'm gonna have my red on. I might even have a tie on, Coach.
Yeah, good.
You go. But yeah, that's it, Coach. Man, we're looking forward to a big game. We just wanted to check in with the Cardinals, see how things was going. Check in with you, Coach, my coach. Make sure everything's in order before we get ready for Friday. Get a little inside information after we get done with this so I can make my pick for Thursday's show.
No, absolutely not. And you got to take that bag off. If I turn it on Thursday and you got that bag on, I'm just turning it off. Right.
So,
all right, Chuck. See you, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Take care.
Anytime, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.